I understand where you're like, well, we shouldn't even put – but, like, you could take a guy like Tim Lincecum, the Giants pitcher back 10, 20 years ago. He first 3-4 years of his career, one of the best ever, right? He was. But then it didn't turn out that way. That's okay. But the first 5 years –
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go first 5 years, we could point – I mean, I just – you know how I am.
Of course.
Let's wait to see the cake baked, man. You always want to pull a cake out the oven before it's done.
I just like observing it as it's happening.
Well, let it bake. Turn on the light and look at it.
He's made the Final Four 100% of all of his seasons. He's made the Super Bowl 60%.
And remember, it's only not 80% because of a pre-snap penalty. They had won that game against Tom Brady. I mean, it's unreal what he's done. So here are the storylines, guys. I mentioned Patrick Mahomes and the historically great run he's on. His trajectory at the moment means that he has a chance to be the greatest player who ever lived. He has a chance. Not 5 years into a guy's career, usually, you can't say that, but you can still. The Eagles are 2-point favorites. The game opened as a pick'em. I think that's going to widen for the Eagles. They are a dominant team. Andy Reid, guys, the Andy Reid Bowl.
But I wonder why would it be a pick'em if Kansas City is kind of right as it stands right now. Like I said, if they had to play the game tomorrow, Kansas City's banged up.
Yeah.
And Philadelphia is healthy. So why would it be a pick'em, or why would Kansas City even be favored? I don't understand. Is it just because people like the experience of Patrick Mahomes and the inexperience of Jalen Hurts?
Well, really, the bookie, the people who make the book, who make the line, are just trying to get equal action on each side of the line. So they're guessing at that point. When they start, they're like, we think that this line will produce equal action on both sides. And when bets start coming in on one side, it starts to move the line. So I agree with Yuki in the analysis that the odds makers here were off when they opened it as a pick'em. They should have opened it. Honestly, I feel, guys, at least 2.5 points for Philly.
Yeah, it's at 2 right now. It's at 2 right now. Philly's favored by 2.
I think it's going to widen.
Oh, they are favored by 2.
As of right now, yeah. It's going to fluctuate.
Fluctuate to what, though?
Well, I mean, fluctuate to what bettors want to bet on, pretty much, where the masses are going.
I think if they'd opened it 2.5, they got equal action.
What y'all call it, smart money?
Yeah.
It seemed like the smart money would be to Philadelphia's strength.
Yeah.
Based on the injuries and him having he was out there playing with Sky Moore. Like, come on. Sky Moore's a nice little player on the special team side in the return game and some gadget plays, but he's not a receiver.
Hey, guys. Jay, this is the first time 2 African-American quarterbacks are facing each other ever in the Super Bowl. Like, that's a big deal. That's like another storyline to pay attention to, right?
I mean, if you want to pay attention to two black quarterbacks playing in the Super Bowl, yeah, it's a good storyline, but I'm not paying attention to it.
I'll tell you what, it's an indication of what's good. Like, think of why hasn't that happened for so many years?
Well,
they finally found 2 black guys who could know.
It's because playing the position like that.
Yes, it indicates that for.
But I'm not. It's not really to me. Max is 2 black quarterbacks, and I'm gonna watch it, and I'm rooting for either one of them because I come out on top regardless of who wins, because they are black. So yes, that is correct. But I'm not paying attention to it.
I get it.
Like
It's
that,
just a demarcation, Jay.
I hear you, Max, on that. But it's like I never thought like a black quarterback couldn't be in the Super Bowl. Like there's.
Well, we've had them in the Super Bowl before.
We
never had 2. Just like we had Dungy and we had Lovie Smith as the 2 first black head coaches to appear in the Super Bowl against one another. Somebody's got to win,
guys. The league, Jay. The league is 75% African American. And we're in Super Bowl 57. So you know how many times 2 white quarterbacks faced each other?
Of course, Max. We know this. We've been fighting this battle for a long time, Max.
I understand. That's why I'm bringing it. So sometimes you got to stop and acknowledge.
No,
what's
I'm not saying.
I agree. I'm gonna go and say though, Key. Like I also feel though, Max. Sometimes like being black, like to bring that up at the forefront, like it just creates an interesting reaction from people, right? So I get you bringing it up, but I guess for Key and I, just to sit back and let it sink in for a while and let that become a storyline that doesn't happen like the day right after we figure out who's going to be there.
Yeah. So for me, Max, it's cool. It's cool. It's cute. I like the fact that there's 2 brothers that's starting at quarterback. Like 1, I said, I come out either way. I'm whether Pat wins or whether Jalen Hurts wins, I'm good as a black man. But
against
that's not my focus
exactly
in the Super Bowl. Guess why? Because they're in it. They're there. They've made it. So it's not my focus anymore.
It's also the Andy Reid Bowl. It's Andy Reid's old team versus Andy Reid's new team.
And there's three guys on the Philadelphia Eagles team that's still part of that team that he drafted, when he left, that's still there 10 years ago. So he gets the chance to see three of those guys. I know Kelsey's one. I feel like Johnson may be the other. And then there's somebody else, I can't think of the name, but when you said that just now, it popped in my head that there's three guys that Andy Reid drafted that's still part of that team.
Hey, real quick, just I wanted to bring up a point, Max, before we pivoted a couple of times, just when Key was making the point about, and granted, it's where the market is, but he was throwing the ball to Sky Moore when you think about Patrick Mahomes, right? Like, think about how much Patrick Mahomes has overcome, right? You lose Tyreek Hill, his team is still here in the championship game. And when we make mention of things like Daniel Jones, what do we always say? Who is he throwing the ball to? Who is Patrick Mahomes throwing the ball to? Just continues to prove his greatness.
It's unreal, and he was spreading it around. Remember early in the game, they showed the stat, 6 different receivers. He was like 9 of whatever it was, and he spreads it around. No Tyreek Hill. Every other, and I understand the offense runs through the tight end as the primary pass catcher key, but whenever you've taken the top wideout away from any of these dudes, it looks different. And whenever you give him a top one, it looks different. Mahomes is the only dude where, same dude, maybe better. I mean, this dude
it was
so
big.
Good.
MVS showed up big. 6 catches, $116 and a touchdown, gave him some of that Tyreek Hill effect. I'm not saying he's Tyreek Hill, but he still was able to do some stuff that made you go, okay, he got some sizzle in his game.
For sure. Also, the All-Kelsey Bowl, right? The two brothers facing each other in the Super Bowl. Travis, going into this game, right, the reason they got Trey Lance in the first place, reportedly, is Kyle Shanahan sees Josh Allen and goes, man, I need to get me one of them guys, right? And he went in without a guy like that because he got hurt, but still, and I think it showed up. Are the Niners going to be in the playoffs next year? And if so, how far do they get?
They are going to be in the playoffs next year, but here's my dream scenario for Johnny Lynch and Kyle Shanahan. There's a guy in South Florida who's 45, 46 years old. I'm going to have a conversation with him come free agency, and I'm going to say, hey, you get to ride off into the sunset with essentially the same type of team that you had when you left New England and you went to Tampa. This is what I want you to do. I want you to come play for me in Tampa Bay, Tom. Tom Brady's his name. I got a stout defense. I got a running game. I got one of the most dynamic players in the National Football League on the offensive side of the ball in Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel as number 2. We can upgrade 1 or 2 receiver positions. By the way, we got one of the top tight ends in Kittle. All I need you to do is teach Brock Purdy and Trey Lance how to play football. All I need you for is a year. I just need you for a year. You got the best left tackle in Trent Williams, so you know you're going to be protected. And guess what? Here's the caveat. You were a little boy. Remember that jersey that you wore in Joe Montana? This could be your dream scenario. We could do whatever you want us to do, but we need you in the worst way.
Makes a lot of sense.
I mean, the talk of Tom Brady being in San Francisco does make a lot of sense. First off, personally for him, I wonder that separation from the family, right? It seems like an East Coast Florida thing for him with the kids. That's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, Max. And then also, Kyle Shanahan does like to run a ton of bootlegs, right? Granted, you could change around the offense, but the last time I saw Tom Brady, Tom Brady cannot move in the pocket.
Yeah,
so I hear it's a 1-year plan. It doesn't make sense. I hear aspects of that.
If Kyle Shanahan is the offensive coordinator that we all think he is, I want you to just go back to the Super Bowl run that they had in Atlanta. With who else? Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan was a smaller Sub-Zero than Tom Brady.
You don't take a swing at Derek Carr?
Neither one of them couldn't. I'd rather have Tom Brady in this position.
Derek Carr's elite.
Yeah, but Derek Carr got like 5-6 more good years. So now what happens? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
but what happens is if you go after Carr, now what are you going to do with the other 2 quarterbacks and Brock Purdy and Trey Lance? That's not a 1-year situation. Thomas Brady is a 1-year situation. I understand what you're saying, Jay, about being away from his kids, things of that nature. And South Florida's out of the question based on Adam Schefter and what Adam Schefter said about the Miami Dolphins. He could be home close to his mom and dad and whoever else in his family in the Bay Area in San Mateo, California. But you mentioned distance. Man, that's what you got all that damn money for. It's called travel. It's called that G650 you got, Jay. Loan that to him.
It's a lot of expenses.
Another
he got
Philly
a lot of
team,
damn money.
guys, is heading to a championship game, at least. Don't forget.
I got a G650.
They lost in the World Series, and there's a chance that they're going to lose in the Super Bowl, although I fear that they are favored slightly now. I think that's going to grow. The Eagles are very, very good. So how insufferable are our producers, Pat and Alan, going to be for the next 2 weeks? Both Philly guys.
Pat was just angry throughout the whole game yesterday while they were blitzing. I mean, I was like, how are you sending angry texts on the text chain while you guys are up 25 points? I don't understand that.
Just ready for the disrespect to end after a 2-score win in the Super Bowl for the Eagles.
Could be. I mean, the Eagles.
No, I don't know about no 2.
I don't know. The Eagles are the Eagles are the most complete team in the NFL since the preseason, guys.
They're not getting ready to run shop on Patrick Mahomes and company.
Better offensive line. They got a better defensive line. They got a lot.
Yeah, but they're not going to beat them by 2 touchdowns. They got the dude that's the cape man.
And
stop.
This is why you get angry texts from me.
Giving Devontae
Why?
Smith.
Because they're not going to win by 2 touchdowns?
I didn't say they wasn't going to win. I said by 2 touchdowns.
Geez.
I
Leave
said
the
by
Rocky
2. That's
statues
part of. See, I'm rolling with Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, but that's the damn problem with you Eagle fans. Y'all get to the Super Bowl, now all of a sudden, you're going to win by 2 damn touchdowns. Just be glad you're there and you get a W.
Guys, Devontae Smith, was that a catch, yes or no?
What?
What they call on the field.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, but by the way, Max, that's why if you're Smith, you're like, let's run the hurry up. Like you saw him, like hurry up, let's go, because he knew what time it was, right?
It would have been one of the greatest catches of all time if that was a clean catch.
What you mean, one of? You think they're not going to show that in B-roll on Fox during the Super Bowl?
Yeah, but it's just that it wasn't a catch. But anyway,
it was a catch. They called it. They scored
really
on the next couple plays.
I know, but if you watch it again, it wasn't.
Oh, God,
the
stop.
Super Bowl is all set. Which storyline should you be paying attention to the next 2 weeks? We got you covered. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, ESPN Radio.
Hey, it's Greeny, and the Super Bowl matchup is all set. It'll be the Chiefs and the Eagles.